Hello, everyone. Kim Kaiser here, and I am streaming this morning here in Houston, Texas to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube all at one time. I love the simplicity and efficiency to that here using StreamYard. So this morning, I'm going to talk about something that just keeps coming across my radar screen, and it's about how sometimes things occur to people in a very complex way. Um, and a lot of times this is around business. A lot of times it's around life stuff. It can be about relationships. It can be about our health, those sorts of things. But a lot of times people get really caught in like problems that are very complex, feel very complex to them. And one of my gifts that I have discovered and embraced over the years is simplicity. It's actually in my human design, it's in my Gene Keys report. And I have the ability to sort of break things down into a very simple format. Like I hear complex things, I hear complex problems, and I can sort of bottom line it in terms of a solution very quickly. And that's just kind of part of how I'm wired. So I want to talk about this morning, what is it that actually, like, how do we get caught in the trap of complexity in the first place? Because sometimes people, really think, no, my situation is complex. You know what I mean? Like they will have an experience of having complex things. I've had that in my life as well. But when we get into complexity, what I can almost guarantee each person I talk to about this is that in some way there's some level of overthinking the problem that's happening. Okay. And that can come in a lot of different forms. But when I hear that people feel like they have this experience of having a really complex, like almost unsolvable problem, that can look to me immediately like I know there's some level of overthinking and some level of, and this is a form of overthinking, but just to give an example of putting elements together, maybe two or three or four elements together that don't belong together. In other words, we connect things together through our minds that don't actually belong together. That's a form of overthinking. And that's just a quick example. So that's where we start to get into complexity in terms of issues and problems. It first occurs not out there in the world, but in here, right? And it starts with our own mind, but it's really hard to see that for ourselves because we don't have an accurate picture of our own minds a lot of times. And there are a lot of reasons for that, and I've gone into that in other broadcasts. But so this is where it starts. Complexity starts with some level of overthinking where we're at. Just even the thought, this is a complex problem, is going to invite the experience of complexity into your reality, right? Because we're always creating reality. You guys have heard me talk about this before. You've heard me talk about this. We're always creating reality. So if we just invite in, oh, yeah, this is a really complex problem, we're going to start to see it as complex. And then it's going to look like it's coming from outside, right? This is sort of the trick of like, or the illusion of our brilliant minds, is that we can sort of create things that it looks like then that we didn't create it, right? And then it looks like, oh, a solution needs to come out from outside of us, but the solutions can always come from inside. And so as I work with clients, that's what I'm doing. I'm facilitating them finding their solution inside, not necessarily me giving a solution. I mean, sometimes I'll give my take, right? But it's mostly about them finding their own simple solution inside. So like, how do we do this? Well, the way we do this is to start to, how would I say it, invite simplicity in. And this is when I can listen to people and see the ways things have gotten complex, can also lead them back to seeing a simple solution. Like most of us think, like our base thinking is that we're complex creatures. And in some ways, I guess we could say that that's true. But when we start looking at things from a holistic standpoint, from a root cause standpoint, from a everything is energy, we're carrying a particular frequency and broadcasting that out into the world, things start to get much simpler, right? We start to find that there's actually, I mean, I'm going to make a gross exaggeration here, but there's like truly one solution to most problems, right? But it starts here. It doesn't start out there. It starts with how we see things, what our perspective is, what our perception is. Those two things are slightly different. What is our perception? What is our habitual way we navigate the world? What are the questions we're habitually asking ourselves? Like these are ways that we can start to simplify life and invite in so much simplicity into things again that can seem very complex. I do this day in day out for a lot of business owners, of course, because I work with a lot of business owners. But when people work with me, a lot of times we're I have a holistic approach is how I would describe it, because what I know is, people don't have this business that's sitting over here separate from everything else in life. It's actually, we all have a life, and then there are all these different things happening in life. And so this is why I take a holistic approach. It's like, is it business coaching? Well, yeah, it is. It's going to help people's businesses, but so many times what's going to help the business is not like actually a quote unquote business solution. Sometimes that's true. We can find a really simple business solution, but a lot of times it's really diving in with people on sort of how they think about what their problem is, right? And so that's a very holistic approach, right? Versus coming in with, strategic things for your life, strategic things for your relationship, strategic things for your body, strategic things for your business. Like that gets very complex. But what I'm pointing at here is simplicity, holistic approach, that sort of thing. So are you guys tracking with me? I see I have a few people watching me this morning on different platforms. Let me know if you're tracking. Of course, when you comment and when you like, not only does it stroke my ego, but it also helps other people find these videos. So the algorithms respond to when people get sort of like, whooped up about these videos. So tell me if you're tracking, tell me if you have a question, that sort of thing. But this is like, I'm not even gonna make a long video this morning because I'm pointing towards simplicity, right? So I don't want to make it more complex than it is, because that's what we're really talking about here. So I've decided that I would like to share simplicity even more specifically for you if you want that. And I'm going to pop into the comments a link towards a simplicity session with me. If you have something in a relationship or in your business or in like, sales and marketing or prospecting or relationships with your team, any issue you're having that feels complex to you that you'd like to feel your way through, I'm opening up some sessions, some really quick simplicity sessions, 30-minute sessions over the next few weeks, that if you just want like a personal take on how to simplify what this issue is and how to simplify a solution, um, I'm going to hop on with you and do that. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and post that in the comments right now. 30-minute session. And okay, no, I'm going to do that right after I'm off the call because the wrong thing copied. So I'll do that right after I'm off this call. But if you just wanted a personal take, some personal coaching, I don't typically do one-off sessions, but I also see that the world is moving really quickly right now. It's moving faster and faster. People's minds are moving faster and faster, which is where um, so much of our complexity comes from, is that. And so to slow down for 30 minutes and just break it down with me, like we can spend, probably 10, 15, 20 minutes on you hashing out the problem, and the other part of the time me simplifying it down for you, probably getting to a solution too. So usually I work in long packages, as you guys know, but I've decided to open these up because I think I can be of higher service. I have a little bit of extra time on my hands. My practice is pretty much full right now. So, but I still, I schedule in a lot of downtime for myself, and I kind of just feel like, oh, I want to be a little bit busier. We're in Virgo season. I'm a Virgo. My birthday's September 17th. And like I have more fire during Virgo season. So that's why I'm opening these up. So I will put a link in the comments if you want to schedule those. It's $333. Well under what I usually try to charge for my hourly rate. So it's a good deal. And if you want to do that. So again, like just let's go back to the beginning here. Complexity, a lot of times with issues and problems, first starts inside, right? First starts here. It usually doesn't come from the exterior. I'm not saying never, but like a lot of times, there are things that you are making more complex than you need to. So we'll start to break that down. Solutions are often much more simple than you think they're going to be. And I'd love to help you through anything that feels overly complex to you. This is just something fun I'm doing for my Virgo season birthday. And again, I'll pop that in the comments. I'm so happy that you've joined me. If you caught the replay, let me know that you are here on replay. I love to come and sort of chit chat with you all after I've done these broadcasts. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the support in the comments, and I will talk to you all again very soon.